Da 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 da. Yeah.
All right, that's in. I can't make music. I only do graphics sometimes. All right.
Doesn't have to be a good theme song.
No, it doesn't. So hello everyone. Welcome to the Joe Rogan Experience. Today we're going to be talking about Twitter, specifically for Geometry Dash. I have here with me a few guests. You see it on the screen. Why don't you all introduce yourselves with your names and how many tweets you've done?
Hi, I'm Ghostfire. I don't know how many tweets I've done. Somewhere around 12k.
All right.
I'm Xanii, and I'm in the middle of a limbo run, but I think I have like 20k tweets, maybe.
Okay.
And I verified Sonic Wave Infinity.
All right, but that's not why we're here.
I'm Solarion, and I have 16.5k tweets
Virgin.
and 0
Virgin.
bitches.
All right, and I am JB, and I have 600 something tweets. I know, it's crazy.
Wild.
It's wild. So today we are going to be talking about GD Twitter. Yay! Yeah.
Oh no.
I know.
Okay.
When I brought this up, Solarion, this is your words. I think you called this it a hellscape or some sort of.
Yeah, that's what I usually use to refer to such said community.
Yeah. Could you just think of a few reasons why you'd refer to it in this way?
Because it's a lot of discourse, and what often results from discourse is chaos, and that is exactly what GD Twitter has become in recent times. Although I can't really think of a time I was on here where it wasn't chaos to some extent. So
Yeah.
take that as you will.
I mean, as chaotic as it can get when everyone's just talking about stuff. Well,
Yeah.
The thing is with not just GD Twitter, but I guess social media in general, is that if you put a bunch of people in a room, then you tell them that what they are going to say has no social ramifications, and that what they say cannot be tied back to their identity, I guess it will devolve into chaos of some sort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, chaos isn't even always bad. Like a lot of the time it's just very hectic, but it's not like actually bad. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, that is pretty much the definition of chaos. I guess you're right about that.
Yeah. Just it has a negative like connotation to it, but it's not always bad.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of good that comes from interactions on Twitter, GD Twitter as well, and I guess we're going to go into that eventually. So I guess we can just start off the top of you guys' heads. What are the good and the bad about GD Twitter?
One of the bads is that, like, since it's like there's so many people on GD Twitter, right? But they all have like, they're all so negative, right? So if someone does an achievement, like someone does like something that they deem as an achievement, but someone like, okay, like there was a tweet where someone did a run on Bloodbath, and they got like destroyed because everyone else like thought it was so easy, right? But it's like, I don't know, it's just so negative.
I think I remember what tweet you're talking about.
Yeah,
Was
yeah.
it a no
It was
clip
like a no
accuracy
clip
run?
Acheron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was, yeah, I think that things like that are just an example of what the Twitter environment brings out the
downplaying-
negative
they're
in
just
the community.
downplaying.
Downplaying a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I feel like this happens a lot, at least from my own experience, not even on Twitter, but on Discord, where people who are building, like they go to these feedback channels and these creator servers, and sometimes, well, I guess I can see why, but sometimes they get destroyed because the people who go on those servers are pretty amateur anyways. And so I feel like, again, most of the time people are helpful, but sometimes I guess people are a bit less constructive with their criticism, I guess you could say. But I guess in the case of playing when skill is more objective, is that really a source of... Is that really because of the GD aspect? You think it's more because of the GD community, or just the specific to the Twitter community in general?
I would
definitely
actually
just
say
like Twitter. I'd say definitely just Twitter.
yeah,
Just
because
Twitter?
the thing
Probably
is, like,
Twitter.
Yeah, like what you described with like feedback channels for creations and stuff in Discord servers, like that can cause problems sometimes, obviously, but that's
Yeah.
more like controlled chaos, you know? Because like on Twitter, like everything is public. Like quote tweets exist for a reason, replies exist for a reason. Because whenever you reply to something or quote tweet something, like your followers are going to see it, and a lot of them are going to probably agree with you. So like if you say something negative towards someone else, no matter if it's a good or bad reason you have behind it, like you're going to get more people supporting you in doing so, and that is going to add to like the pile of backlash that person is receiving.
Yeah, and I guess since everything is public too, so does shaming. Shaming also becomes public.
And that also like just gives this whole like potential for like, you know how like in physics they describe like potential energy and kinetic energy. I'm gonna try to make an analogy here, and it might sound really stupid. Bear with me, but like,
go ahead.
There's a whole lot of potential energy with like really old like tweets that someone makes that can sound like really stupid or make them look really bad.
Yeah.
And whenever someone like resurfaces that, like while digging through Twitter for whatever reason, it just turns into that like kinetic energy, like chaos, you know?
No, I totally
it
get
can
that.
Like, even though it's like a long time ago and a lot of people don't understand that like bringing old stuff up never has any like intrinsic value. Well, that's not the right word, but like value in your argument.
You get a
like,
lot of,
you said the N-word a year ago. Yeah, man.
You get
like,
a lot of mainstream celebrities being flamed for what they said on Twitter 10 years ago.
Yeah, even if they aren't like that anymore. I mean, some of them are.
Some of them
turned out they were, but like it doesn't actually reflect them as a person in that moment, and that's what a lot of people seem to not understand.
Yeah, I mean, I guess here is when everything's public and it's like a message board where nothing gets deleted unless you delete it. I mean, I guess Twitter holds on to it, but anyone can see what you say forever. I guess, what if in, say, 30, 40 years, there's going to be the general consensus in society against, say, eating meat. Whereas back in the 1960s, when people in the South of the US at least were still racist and it was the mainstream, and now people are getting, say, canceled for it, I noticed that I'm trying not to be too nerdy here, but Woodrow Wilson was a racist, right? But no one cared back then, and now everyone does, and he's long dead. So what if once we're all dead in 100 years or so, people are just going to remember all of our celebrities as terrible people because they ate meat, when right now it's just completely fine. And that's yeah. And I think that's a big danger of these kinds of message boards, so to speak, where everything just stays forever.
Yeah, and like a lot of the time they can even have like real world consequences too. Like, I don't want to sound like y'all's like parents here, like paranoid about all the technology and stuff, but like, you know, colleges could like find that stuff you're trying to like apply to them or something like that, and like it could prevent you from getting in or something like that. You know,
I mean, that's the first thing my parents told me
say something bad
when I turned 13.
Yeah, nothing on the internet is truly private.
Yeah, that's nothing with technology is private. Technology has made a true surveillance state really possible. You can see this certain nations around the world right now, but
yeah, and this isn't even just specific to GD. Like, I've seen it happen so many times.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I know we're talking so seriously about GD Twitter, but if you actually go on there, and we all have at some points, I think most of the stuff we see is not of substance. We just see shitty memes and humor.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it'll make us laugh in that moment.
Yeah, but I noticed that this sort of humor is very unique to Twitter, and I think the GD community has its own sort of humor as well, which is what I want to bring up here, because I feel like you can't really find that anywhere else. Is that really a product of just the clientele of the game?
That's a tough one, because I've seen these kinds of memes elsewhere other than like Twitter.
Yeah, I personally I've never gone on TikTok, but I feel like that's what it resembles the most. Like, usually very short
I
videos.
haven't either.
Yeah.
I can't speak on that.
very interesting. The even though communities might not be humor focused, I've seen different memes come out of different communities and different platforms too. I guess GD Twitter has a lot of people who are considered funny, and some people who consider themselves unfunny too. I noticed that that's a word that's thrown out a lot, especially in bios.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, like even I used to have that.
I used to put
I don't know.
unfunny in my bio because I never got the GD Twitter humor itself.
Yeah. I feel like people who consider themselves funny are like oftentimes not funny. I mean, this is just like in general, obviously, but
Yeah.
people who like can call themselves unfunny, I think a lot of people, if they like say, "Oh yeah, I'm unfunny" in my bio, they're gonna like post something funny, and then more people will think, "Oh, this is funny." Whereas someone who puts like "I am extremely funny" and posts the same meme will get like a different reaction.
Yeah. Though I feel like if people word it like I'm extremely funny, it's sort of supposed to be ironic too. You never know.
Yeah, true.
You never really know.
I don't think anyone ever says that like unironically. So yeah.
And I feel like don't like I'm just foraging into the deep here, but I feel like there's a bit of a social hierarchy based on funniness. Would you say anything like that exists?
Yeah, probably.
I think it used to. It's not as prominent as it used to be.
Yeah, true. I think that's just because a lot of the same people who were like seen as like the super funny people just like grew up.
Yeah, I noticed that. On the topic of growing up, nice little segue here, but I to address the baby elephant in the room, most of the GD Twitter users are minors. So, is there any sort
Almost all of them.
Yeah, almost all of them.
Yeah.
I think we're all 18 and over here at least, right?
Well, actually, Ghostfire isn't. But,
Oh.
you know.
I'm 17.
Oh, you're 17?
But like basically.
Oh, little baby.
Young.
No, but I mean, when everyone's a minor, I think that this is true. They're not supervised.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
no, they're not.
Yes.
No way. Like the shit they say on here, they're no way
Well,
they're supervised.
With the rare exception of someone like Charlie Lance, but
Charlie
he's
Lance,
like
yeah.
10, so he barely even counts.
Yeah,
I mean, Charlie Lance isn't his account managed by his dad?
it is.
I
Yeah.
think so.
I feel like that's the right way to introduce your kid to the internet.
Yeah, I would say so. I think my dad kind of did that with me when I originally started like going on the internet and stuff. Actually, yeah, he definitely did, but it wasn't like in that same way though, not at all.
Yeah, I mean, different for me too. My parents, when they got me a phone, they actually had me read this book called LOL OMG before I could use it. And I know it's a very like fellow kid's name, but the whole point of the book was it was just a bunch of horror stories of people who messed with the internet when they were too young, and then they faced the consequences. That included people going to their house or people finding out stuff about them. Which I guess
I think that kind of thing is just like they just like their parents like want to feel like, oh yeah, you know, we gave them a proper warning. Now let's just let them take it from there, because you know we have the internet is the future, and we have to like let them on at some point. But like it doesn't do much more than like just put the fear of God into them, so to speak. Like I feel like those books aren't as informative as they are like just haunting.
Yeah, but if we've all been to driving school, right? Driving school does the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But in that case, I guess you're trying to avoid accidents. So it's a noble cause, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And they're like mandatory to take and all that.
Yeah.
If you want a driver's license.
I
So.
feel like something like that should be mandatory for the internet, actually. Well, I guess you can't force anyone to do it, but I think it would be very beneficial because the internet is not dangerous to people's physical health most of the time, but to someone's mental health, it can be quite devastating.
Yeah, I think people's parents do that when like they're young, but like over time they just kind of like forget about it. like disregard it. So I don't know. But I think what happens to some people on GD Twitter is a bit of a reminder of that.
Yeah, I mean, something's obviously going wrong because this is very unfortunate. People in the GD Twitter community have committed suicide successfully too.
And many have attempted.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Thankfully, most of them don't succeed. But
yeah,
I think people, people not taking that seriously has become a problem just because of how often it's happened.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, if people are actually getting harmed by this, I think we need to come together and think about how we can change it for the better, even if it's not a very possible thing to do, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Like if you were just in charge of Twitter, how would any of you change it to be better for people's mental health?
I would just make everyone delete it from their phones.
Just kill us from the inside, honestly. Like it's a plague.
Kill it from the inside.
Elon Musk buys and deletes things. He didn't do that for Twitter.
Yep. Should have done that for
he should have.
I remember that was a thing. Was that 2 years ago? He's actually gone.
Elon Musk deletes Fortnite.
Done half of it, yeah.
Travis Scott.
Deleting Fortnite. I mean, the thing is, I said this before, shaming is public. You can't do private shaming unless you're just directly messaging them. So
well, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but people like to make it public.
Yeah, people can.
There's a lot of people who talk like hella shit about people behind their back, though. I've seen it.
I mean, yeah, I've noticed.
Or like tease them, but like don't directly say, "Yeah, I don't like you, bro."
Just passive aggressive shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely hate people like that.
I've noticed that the GD, like people in the GD community, are very fake.
A lot are.
Yeah.
Don't lie, I've been like that myself sometimes.
I think a lot are. I mean, if you look at all the mainstream personalities, this is me complaining, sort of half from a personal standpoint. But I've noticed that a lot of people, the hierarchy isn't really based on funniness anymore, but I guess it's based on popularity, and it will always be.
Yeah. Well, I suppose so. Yeah, and whenever someone is seen as like underrated, like people go out of their way to like shout them out. I think that's a good thing, but
that's a good thing.
I feel like the person who's being called underrated is like suddenly being held to higher of a standard than they were used to, and some people have said they don't like that, like when it's happened to them. Like I know Skizzle, for example, said that once because people were calling him underrated.
Huh.
He didn't really like it that much. I can understand why.
But like on this topic of hierarchy based on fame, would any of you just like slide into Viperon's DMs right now and just ask him to call?
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would.
I would.
No.
Do you think he would? Do you think he'd indulge you though? That's the thing.
Oh no, we'd ignore.
Yeah, no, totally.
He would definitely ignore.
I mean, he literally sells personal interaction on his channel as a channel member.
And actually, that's the other thing. People who get like level 60 in his server, he adds them on Discord. Like my friend has it.
Yeah, but like the point is, it's sort of like a privilege to be in contact with him.
Yeah.
That's kind of dumb.
Yeah, Xanii just got 18 to 84 in limbo.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Okay.
You've interrupted the conversation. Fine, yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah, good run.
Good run. Ah. Yeah, we can hear it, by the way. We can hear it all. So, on to the next topic, I guess, since we're talking about people who other people are sort of idolizing because they're micro celebrities. That's how it is.
Yeah, true.
Like you've seen the niche internet micro celebrity meme thing.
I think I have.
I remember seeing some sort of picture like that. I thought it was really funny personally, but I feel like in the niche internet micro celebrity type of thing, there's a lot of Twitter accounts out there, and I'm gonna need you guys to tell me more about this because I know nothing. There's a lot of people who I don't I noticed they're not necessarily players or creators, but they're part of GD Twitter. They've got followers, I mean, up to 1,000 or so. Like, people know who they are, but they just tweet.
That's like, I don't know. I feel like that was kind of me, but I do play and create. I'm just like, I was never really known for that as much.
The thing I'm sort of trying to go for is like people who have followers, but they don't necessarily upload to GD YouTube.
Yeah,
like Noise.
I could be.
Well, Noise was known for some GD stuff beforehand, and he's
I
like a
guess
community
so.
veteran and all that. I mean, dude was doing like the weekly news on the GD forums. That's how old he is.
Oh shit.
Yeah, no, he's an OG.
The GD forums. I found the demon list on the GD forums just randomly. Used to be on there.
I think they deleted the official thread of it, but
They did.
There's like older renditions of it.
They did.
That have been archived there.
It's crazy. I think Riot made the post. I think that's why
but
everyone thinks it's so official.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the only one too.
I wonder how Riot feels just knowing he like created the whole
demon list.
It was basically the reason the demon list exists now.
Yeah.
And when he joined the demon list server back in 2020, they didn't even give him the former list staff role.
Wow.
So entitled.
I know. It's crazy. It's such a transgression. He doesn't give a shit. He probably doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, it's just funny.
Yeah, I mean, would you when any of you slide into Riot's DMs and ask him to call?
I have before, and it's worked.
He seems pretty chill.
Yeah, I mean, I
that.
know him already. I don't have him added on Discord, but like I was like a mod in his stream chat during the Sonic Wave streams and stuff. And,
cool.
I mean, I've talked to him before, so
the thing is,
I don't know if I can.
Riot's like a 24-year-old man or something now.
Yeah.
I literally called with him to play like Call of Duty one time. Like we literally just played zombies, nothing but GD.
I remember he was streaming that, I think.
Yeah, but I just used to do that. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I think a lot of those people like they don't really see themselves as like above anyone else. Like,
I really hope that's the case.
To talk with most people as long as
I feel like a lot of people are like that as well. I mean, you can sort of tell.
There's a lot of people on GD Twitter that take their ego like too seriously.
There's a lot of people in GD with huge egos anyway.
Yeah. It's an ego problem.
And a lot of the time, I don't even think I can blame them because, like, they're not really used to being a micro celebrity.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna bring
people
this.
do take it seriously.
People
and,
take it way
I
too
guess
serious.
If you're acting like a dick, like, I mean, go ahead.
People who make fun of attempt counts.
Oh yeah.
I hate those people.
They're literally everywhere, and I can't get away from them. A lot of the people I used to be friends with do that now.
And
I do it as a joke sometimes, but like I've stopped.
I feel self-conscious about attempts now, even though I don't even play extremes anymore.
I never put my attempts anymore.
I never put mine. I never have actually. But
like I don't have necessarily high attempt counts on my levels, but still, it's just like people will use that against you, like whether it is now or in the future.
Like I mean, okay. I mean, I didn't lie about my attempts,
Yeah, but like people will just assume that you did.
Well, people have lied about attempts, which really goes to show that this is a thing.
Yeah.
I feel bad on it, almost.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be pressured to have like a low attempt count on anything.
Yeah, and
if your attempt count's too high, then they also say that your attempt, like you're just adding attempts.
Yeah, like, oh, you're
attempts.
Yeah, it's like there's no winning. There's no winning.
There's no winning here.
Yeah, it's a lose.
There's a person who spent 640K on Sonic Wave. Is that real?
It is Muffy.
So,
yeah, I mean, did he stream any of that?
Yeah, he did. He streamed a good amount, and and like a lot of the time when he like in the time he was playing it, he like was calling with people and they were watching his screen share.
Yeah, that's dedication. I'm sure a lot of people on Twitter would say it's just him being bad at the game, but are you really bad if you beat Sonic Wave? So yeah, I mean, that's the thing with these platforms. No social ramifications in what you say, but I guess that's more of a product of Twitter itself and not the GD part of it.
Yeah, but Twitter users,
Yeah,
also
Twitter users are-
don't like, they don't see like, they see a person, or they don't see a person that they're responding to. They think it's just like a profile. They don't like
Yeah.
see that like what they're doing has an effect on someone else. I don't think that they can understand that.
Yeah.
I don't think. Yeah, no, I agree. That's
That's what
like,
makes it so
hard to do through
toxic.
Social media.
No, that's true. I didn't actually think of that. That's turning out to be very accurate in my mind right now, at least.
You know, that's
I
like,
try to.
that's
It's
one.
something I think about a lot, actually.
Yeah, that's one of the big like downsides of GD Twitter, and I know that because it's happened to me like a lot. That's one of the reasons I don't like GD Twitter.
Do you go on it often anymore?
No, I go on and my timeline's not even GD related. I only
Huh.
post whenever I do something GD related.
Oh, yeah. I feel like that's sort of how it should be. I think that's the best use case for Twitter right now. I mean, it's
Like I used to get attacked on Twitter like pretty bad that I'd have to like block Twitter on my phone so I wouldn't go on it so I wouldn't see shit.
When I
Like
I
that's
use it
it
a
got
lot.
that bad.
By the way, if to anyone listening to this, if you want to quit Twitter, do this because it sort of worked for me. Forget your password. Delete it off any program or notes that it may be on. And just be like
You
that.
can have someone
for
else
a
like
month.
change your password for
Yeah,
you
that
and not
too.
tell you.
Just lose access to your account. Don't deactivate it. Just lose access to your account and you'll be gone in a moment. Yeah. So there are people. That's a bad transition. There are people who
Bad transition, GD level reference? No way.
not.
No way.
I mean, I was about to talk about people who have Twitter followers. How have you witnessed people gain Twitter followers? Like they start out as just a blank account and they work their way up the Twitter hierarchy. How does that happen?
Yeah, and speaking of blank, our sponsor today is NordVPN.
Oh, that's right. Thank you for NordVPN for sponsoring this video.
Okay, I think we have to. I think we
Oh
have
shit!
to
No,
mention,
I'm fleeing the
like,
Linus Tech Tip stereotype now. Fuck.
I actually use NordVPN.
I think we have to mention like Evelyn, like going from nothing to like
Yeah.
Evelyn?
having something. Yeah, like Evelyn, like
Who's
what
that?
was it? They.
Oh,
Oh, you lucky soul. Okay, so there's like this Twitter account and their name is Evelyn is Epic, right? People just call them Evelyn, but they came from nothing and all they talked about was them being transgender and like estrogen and all of that, like stuff just like that. Just it was literally just like estrogen and what else was it? There was something else. I don't want to get to the pedophile shit yet.
Not yet.
Yeah,
No, that's
But
no,
not yet. No,
later.
that's for after I figure out what I'm about to say. No, it's like they just tweet stuff about being like transgender and like estrogen. Like
like literally, yeah.
Right.
that's
right as
literally
you, like,
all that they would tweet about. That's all that they
Yeah.
would tweet about, and then it would get into the Twitter like algorithm, and then it like give it to like it gave it to the GD community. That's how they got
Yeah.
into
so
the
they're not
GD
part of the
community.
GD community.
Well,
They
no, the
weren't
thing is,
at
she
the
had
start.
like stuff in her bio, like fuck you, like I hate Sonic Wave.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they were. So
I
they
bet
were.
you disagree
Okay,
with that
it was
one,
like
Brady.
they were a GD player, right? But it was like they weren't like their account wasn't for GD.
Yeah,
Okay.
It just ended up getting into GD.
yeah, it just became.
And then after that, right, they had a whole situation with their girlfriend that turned out to be like what was it, like a lolicon?
Well, yeah, her girlfriend
Yep.
was.
Girlfriend turned out to be a
supporting, like,
lolicon.
yeah.
Okay.
And then there
Fun.
was like, and then this Evelyn person, they also found out to like have the lolicon shit, and then they tried to get out of it by saying that it was for their girlfriend, and then someone else, because they were in a poly relationship,
What?
that the third person exposed both of them, and then
God.
that person got exposed. It was like a whole entire like, it was weird, but yeah, they
Bro,
went
this shit
from
That is
fucking
weird.
COD Zombies storyline.
That was like, yeah, no, that was like the craziest, like nothing to
Yeah.
like everything.
Nothing.
No,
Now-
actually, right as you originally mentioned Evelyn, I was scrolling Twitter and Denny tweeted this thing 55 minutes ago. It's like the 10 words that so and so account repeats the most on Twitter, and he did it for Evelyn. Cream, Ayuko, girlfriend, pedo, told, lolly, lolly, situation, money, lolicon.
Oh my god.
My God.
It's so bad.
I got 2 magnets stuck together.
Awesome.
This isn't awesome.
That's very helpful information.
Oh, great. No, it's getting stuck to everything.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Speaking
Oh,
of getting
no,
stuck to
anyways.
everything, trans people. Trans people.
What?
Huh?
Does that have anything to do with it?
I'm just continuing the streak of good segues here, but I mean,
Oh, yeah.
since we were talking about Evelyn is epic, first time hearing that person.
Good.
A lot of trans people in the GD Twitter. The background of this video has nothing to do with that, I promise. But there's a lot of trans people on GD Twitter. There's a certain pattern regarding them. All of them are minors. All of them are.
No,
Yeah.
a large majority.
A large majority of them are minors.
Like I'd say, like
yeah.
maybe 95%.
Yeah, that's a lot. And they're all really on Twitter because you don't really see that in say GD daily comments. There have been very transphobic daily comment chains before.
Yeah.
So I think it's inaccurate to say that the GD community is overly trans, but I think GD Twitter
I
is.
disagree. Okay, well, no, I disagree because I've seen people in like the GD Discord server.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Maybe it
I
extends
think
to
that
Discord.
it's the GD community itself is very like accepting. I think that's all it has to
The
do
Twitter
with it.
community, at least, yeah.
Twitter and Discord, I don't know. I think just overall, it's a pretty accepting community, and then you have some outliers that like
Yeah.
they don't ruin it for the rest, but they definitely make themselves present.
Yeah,
the
that's for
the
sure.
loud minority. I
Mostly
think
the
most of
Russians
them
and
are-
Dr. Joe, but
Whistled.
I've actually
It
noticed
is
most of them are
such
in,
it's a minority.
in-game.
yeah, it is.
I've
But
noticed a lot of them are like in-game comments rather than like on the public platform.
yes, in-game comments because
Yeah, a lot of them are. friends
GD
with
Twitter
Dr.
only
Joe.
encompasses the
I'm over.
English-speaking community.
No,
Well,
there's
really?
in GD Twitter there's like there's sub communities where it's
Oh.
like English, like Spanish,
Yeah.
Portuguese, but
Well,
it's like
is there a Russian GD Twitter?
They
There
get
is.
intertwined
yeah, there
sometimes.
is.
There is?
There is.
Yeah, there is. And that's not as big though.
Oh,
But yeah,
mean-
the different speaking communities get like intertwined sometimes though. Like I have some cool mutuals from the Spanish community.
Yeah, it's mostly Spanish that I see. Also, I got the magnets on them.
oh nice.
Nice.
The magnets, we got it. But
All right, what's this segue, bro? Let's do this.
Stop it. I'm not done. I'm not done.
Yeah, we ain't done, bro.
We're not done. I mean, I feel like the English community though is the one that people most interact with. Is that correct when saying that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
pretty much.
definitely.
It'd either be the English or the Spanish.
Well, there was always a Spanish community, and that's actually just going to be a future episode of this podcast if I ever get around to it. But
Sure.
if the English community is like this, it's because it's like usually North American, Western European. I feel like that could be why it's so accepting, because those are like the most progressive places in the world, I guess you could say. And also, I have to point this out. All the trans people, I have not seen a single female to male trans person playing this game yet.
I've yet
I think
to.
what do you call it?
I-
Dank, the GD moderator, was. I might be wrong though.
Really?
But like,
Yeah, I heard
did not
someone
know
say
that.
that. Don't quote me on that though. I don't remember.
I feel like this should sort of be more equal though. I don't know, because
Yeah.
But you have to understand that
yeah.
the player base of GD is mostly like
video
males.
games in general.
Well, born and raised.
Yeah. But like, what women have you seen like playing GD?
There's only a few. It's
Juniper.
There's been a handful. Most of them come and go.
Biologically, yeah.
Most
they
of them
come
come
and
and go.
Yeah.
there's that, but like if transgenderism means that you're one gender in another gender's body, if you're a man in a woman's body, wouldn't you also be sort of attracted to the concept of video games like a cis man would?
Yeah, I guess so.
So if that makes sense, then
I gotta watch what I say because I'm like on eggshells right
that is
right
why
now.
I'm stuttering.
Like,
I am in a minefield. I'm in a minefield.
Yeah.
I just want to take.
I don't know.
time.
It's something that we wouldn't understand.
I
mean,
guess that's
it's very
true.
interesting phenomenon. That
I think I think a lot of those people like could actually feel that way, but I think some of them might just like it might just fall under the usual like stereotypical sequence of events where like young people are easily influenced or whatnot. But
definitely true.
I don't know.
I think
they just might be like confused and not really know what they are yet.
I mean, that is basically the definition of being a teenager.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, definitely not. Sorry, let me scroll back up. I don't want to, you know what? I don't want to do this topic right after the last one, but I feel like it would make sense for me to. Why don't we take a moment to talk about the groomers of the
Oh no.
Oh god, yeah. Oh boy.
I feel like it's not a correlation, but there are a lot of instances. Not a lot.
I
of
think
instances.
That many. Recently, there
a
actually
few
haven't been that many.
instances.
Yeah, no, there hasn't been like in a while, but I feel like when there is, it's always an instance of like a child that's like unsupervised. Like going back to what we were talking about before, it's always like a child unsupervised.
Yeah, for sure. But what makes someone a groomer? Is it if you're 18 and you're trying to eat someone who's 15? And they
No, that's like
No.
pedophilia element of it. Like pedo and groomer are used interchangeably, but they mean like completely different things.
Yeah.
Being a groomer is like sexually manipulating someone in any way.
Right. I mean, Solar's the expert here, I gotta say, but
Whoa, wait, what?
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, I have gotten the first-hand experience. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Don't-
thought you
Not,
were
not, not a
red-handed.
funny thing
I
to
mean-
joke about. Don't do that. I'm sorry.
do not groom people. That's bad. No, but I feel like Solar is like the closest thing the community has to Chris Hansen. That's what I've gotten from you.
Who's your next catch, bro?
Yeah, true.
Let us in.
True.
We need an exclusive view.
Exclusive view. No, but I feel like would it be possible for someone to groom someone else, but the groomer is younger than the victim?
I don't
I think so.
Maybe.
Possibly.
I think it's possible, though I don't think
It's
it would get.
unlikely though, because like
Yeah.
I mean, you could like blackmail someone to get that kind of thing, no matter of age.
Explain how?
I mean, it could happen with any situation. Like, oh, I have this screenshot of you doing a really bad thing, so I'm going to make you do this sexual thing you don't want to do. Otherwise, I'll leak
Oh
it.
yeah. Is that like what happens most, or is it just some helpless kid just not knowing where they are, like Mr. Magoo?
I think that can happen. I think it's happened a little bit in the GD community. I don't really remember, but it could happen. But it's just more often that the groomer is older, which is why this.
It's definitely like a big correlation.
Yeah.
Because the older.
That's why
person has more
pedo and groomer are
experiences.
used like interchangeably.
Yeah. I mean,
it's kind of an issue.
What
but,
percentages of the groomers that have been exposed do you think are actually pedos?
It's hard to tell. I don't even remember all of them at this point.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely been there's definitely been at least one person there, but I guess if you're going to consider like an internet community of any sort, then that's always going to be the case. Very unfortunate again, but yeah. But I mean, the whole thing that makes all of that possible is e-dating, which I've noticed takes place a lot. And again, a lot of online couples are not like a groomer trying to groom someone, which is good. But how is that really? I'm trying to figure out how to word this. How much does it resemble actual dating? Because I feel like most of the time it's just someone typing out romantic shit to someone else in DMs, which personally I don't see how that could resemble actual dating.
Yeah, I think this kind of thing is like, I don't know, it's a little weird to analyze, but I mean we're doing it anyway, so might as well.
Yeah, that's why we're here.
But yeah, I think it's just like they like it's not the same at all as like a real relationship, but people will do it anyway because like it's just
They're
sort
lonely.
of what they're used to already.
Yeah.
And yeah, they just want that kind of companionship.
Yeah.
If I had to guess anyway, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I can't speak from experience, so
right. I mean,
yeah.
The people e-dating though, usually they're both minors. So I feel like since it's easier, again, I'm going to go back to this, since everyone is anonymous, it's easier to deal with rejection sort of, so it's easier to ask people out. Yeah. Obviously this is all happening through like a plastic keyboard and a screen, but
yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of people say like, oh, e-dating isn't real because like they just look at it as that. And
I definitely thought that. I think
it's just a matter of not taking the perspective. Like,
yeah,
if people want to do that, then like they can. I guess some people make it their whole personality, like kind of annoying, but whatever. No, just
yeah. I mean, I don't think you can ever stop a bunch of lonely teenagers from doing that, but it just really opens up the possibility for bad things to happen.
Yeah, and that's like, yeah, that's why people hate on it so much.
Yeah, and again, I used to think I had that mindset for a really long while till I actually sat down and thought about why people do this. Which I feel like you could do that with any sort of behavior that people do online. Like the whole micro celebrity thing. I think the reason that happens is because you've got a person who everyone tells them they're great and that the things they do are great. And so it gets to their head, and then they sort of feel like they deserve to only be in the presence of people who've done good things like them. Yeah. Obviously good meaning.
And when someone does something bad, like what used to happen was like the immediate reaction was just to like immediately like get this person off the platform, bully them to the point of like no return. And I think that still happens sometimes, just not as often because it got old, or it's still happening behind the scenes and we just don't know yet.
I think it might still happen because that whole thing is human nature, right? There's always
there's
always been crowds of people just beating up on an individual because it makes them feel powerful.
They did something bad, so nothing about them matters anymore.
Yeah, and that means what you're doing is morally justifiable.
Yeah, or at least they think it is if they don't know like the full story. Like there have been people who were falsely exposed of grooming.
Yeah,
and
I think
has fucked them up.
It's like swatting, basically. Like you call the police, tell them that this person at this address did something terrible, or is like kidnap people and as hostages. Whereas here you're trying to blackmail someone. If you don't do this, then I'll tell everyone you're a groomer, and I've got these fake screenshots.
Yeah.
I hope that's the only reason why people do that.
Yeah. And a lot of the time people will like see someone do something slightly bad, maybe not know the full context or whatnot, and like just go ahead, make a whole twit longer, post it. 3 likes.
3 likes, yeah. I quite enjoy reading those twit longers. I don't know. I find it entertaining.
Yeah, no, same, definitely.
It definitely contributes to all this.
It's funny.
Yeah.
It's definitely funny. Well, sometimes, unless it's like legitimately serious, but a lot of the time, like I remember around a year ago, a certain person who I will not bring up just for the sake of not wanting to start any new shit, made a twit longer about Jordan TRS,
Ooh.
And this twit longer was like, I mean, it was entertaining to read, I won't lie, but
Okay.
almost everything in it was like completely disproved with proper context, because one person made a video on YouTube where like they actually went to Jordan TRS, which no one else was doing, and they like asked him, "Hey, could I get some full context on this screenshots? I'm not here to just berate you like everyone else is." And so he did. He made the video, and he actually is like in the community again now. Like,
I think I remember that drama like a little
yeah,
bit.
it was. I was. The video is by Zed Funny Man. I might as well say that Zed
Yeah.
FM. You might as well look it up if you're like watching this.
He's
But that, yeah, but like he ended up. It wasn't until like at least 2 months later, and like has so much damage had been caused, where like they had like realized, like even there's one person even realized like, oh yeah, this might. I'm a little bit more curious about this, because this twit longer was very clearly put together for like attention purposes, because it was so dramatic and everything, and
Oh, right.
the way it was worded.
When I said I
And
hope that's the only reason,
yeah.
it's because people want attention too.
Yeah, it was a GD. Yeah, my roommate's here. My
Is it
Godmark.
Godmark? Hi.
Yeah. Yeah, he says hi. Yeah. What was it? And I forgot. I even joined in on that. Like when the twit longer came out, I'm just like, oh, he did some bad stuff. Cool. I made a diss track on him.
I remember that.
It was kind of fire.
Is
I
that
won't lie.
is
I
that
think
still
I got out of the hood.
is that still
Well, no,
up
I
in public?
deleted it because I deleted it because I didn't want it to spread any false information. I have it unlisted on YouTube though. I might put a link to it if you want, like in the description.
Don't feel forced to.
I mean, if you want.
Don't feel forced to.
I mean, yeah, no. It's kind of funny. Just know that nothing in it is true.
Okay.
Yeah. Watch it with that mindset, because like it's not. Because at the time I thought all that stuff actually was true, and I wrote it.
Yeah. If that ends up
low-key heat though.
So if that ends up in the description, I'll put like a disclaimer.
If you want some sick jams while you're working out, I got you, homie.
Solarion Disstrack on Jordan TRS.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was looking for.
I'm getting out of the hood.
I think we should bring back GD diss tracks.
No,
I agree. They were so good.
They were so good. Like C1997.
Yeah.
First of all,
do you all see the Pack God diss track on iShow Speed?
No, I didn't.
I did not see that.
So good.
No, but the thing with the Seed versus Cyrillic drama, when Cyrillic accused C of being racist for calling him Kim Jong-un, it is an Asian stereotype that they all look alike, and that is a racist thing to say, I guess. I feel like...
Oh, yeah, he wouldn't have gotten away with that.
Oh, yeah, definitely not. That's what I was thinking when he said that back in 2017, was it?
Yeah.
But it's crazy how all of that just got started based on one little misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Because that's what I think it was. Definitely.
Someone made unrelated, but someone made like a mashup of the Time Machine song with the Cyrillic diss track over it. It's so good.
I need to find that.
I'll find it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the thing is, I really wish that these transitions would be better, but the thing comes and goes, and like I don't have an opportunity to say it, but people want attention. Let's just pretend that the conversation's back at that. People want attention, which is why people get so excited when they realize that one of their tweets has, so to say, banged.
Yeah.
When they tweet a banger, I guess you could, that for everyone over the age of 20, that means that the tweet did well in terms of likes and retweets.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what makes a banger tweet?
That's tough to say.
I think it's a tweet, either beat a really hard level or tweet a meme that's so stupid that it's funny.
I guess those are two categories, but my most liked tweet ever was I took a screenshot of the part in Hypersonic where you could go under or over that gear, and then I just tweeted and said top or bottom, and then that got 151 likes, and I had like 20 followers.
Nice.
Like what it's really mysterious what attracts people to just certain tweets. I don't know.
I think the wording of that tweet
That's
made
what
it.
I was thinking too.
Yeah. Something about tweets like that. Always get interactions.
Yeah, there's I can't seem to put my finger on it. What could it be? So now that tweet is banged off, I think we should talk about political GD Twitter.
Oh no.
I feel like it's not really a thing anymore, which is good. Let me just say that right out of the bat. People don't really do that anymore. But
There's some people, but very little.
But I think it was a lot funnier when Elfritz and Werewin were still around and tweeting about just literal socialism. It's literally socialism, you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's a very good thing that those tweets never made it outside of GD Twitter.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's the whole... I think Werewin had this in his bio for the longest time. He said, he, him, I've never lost an argument. There's like the pronouns standard, but I've never lost an argument. It's like he's seeking out people to argue with.
Yeah. People made fun of him for that a lot because like he would get like destroyed in arguments and still have that. It was big looking back, but like people,
Yeah.
it was funny.
Don't get me wrong. I enjoy like discourse, but only about the game itself. Like I used to watch all of his videos because he talked stuff about decoration. This was when I was like trying to learn how to decorate. Still sort of am, but I found it very interesting on
Ray Connect,
yeah. But on all these different things, how people can have such different standards like that. I mean, the thing is with Werewin is that his takes weren't even that controversial for in GD sorts of things. They were controversial in that they went against the mainstream, but I feel like there's still a lot of people who always sort of agreed with him.
Yeah, no, there were. A lot of the time, what actually would happen, I remember back in like 2021, he made a lot of tweets that, like, they were about GD, don't get me wrong, but like they bordered on like just straight up being like intertwined with his political mindsets.
Yeah.
And they like pissed a lot of people off because like he was like way overthinking it.
And he's kind of, I think definitely at the time, but he's kind of older than most of the community, right? I think he's in his 20s.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, makes sense. But like on the other side of the political and GD spectrum, we've got a player who is right wing. We've got Dr. Joe, who he doesn't really play anymore, does he?
He does actually.
He does play. He's just not that public about it.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not mainstream in this playing.
I feel like not everything, but a lot of the stuff he said was just pure bait.
Oh yeah, it was.
That's just what I got from it.
Yeah.
I think people just had a hard time dissociating like the politics with the person. And we're too quick to say that he was a bad person. Is that accurate?
I mean, Dr. Joe did some pretty bad things.
He said some really bad stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
And he still believes like all of it. Like he made like a fake apology and everything, if I remember correctly.
Really?
And then like he like immediately just went back on it like 2 days later.
That's like
started doing the same.
That's like the
again.
modern day, well, not modern day, but like the Pico drama right now.
Well,
yeah,
it kind of went away, but yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, she apologized then on Twitter, and then on YouTube, she just kept saying the same stuff, at least for a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because I don't know how everyone heard about it. I think because it got on that one really big gimmick account.
I heard about it on Reddit, actually. That's where I saw it.
Well, that's crazy.
I know. It's GD.
Yeah, wow. Yeah,
Like,
that's interesting. I don't know. I was kind of what actually ended up happening is the person like she replied to saying like, oh yeah, suicide isn't real, whose friend apparently committed
yeah,
suicide,
that
that was
that
actually
was
found out
actually
to not be
faked.
real.
Yeah,
Yeah, literally the guy, he made up like that whole personality and everything for attention.
yeah, it's
Like,
crazy. And like the thing is with that sort of situation is that I couldn't help but notice that no one wins.
and yeah, it's the fact that like the people got mad over the fact that like Paco did it, but like I mean now even looking back, it's the fact that like he would do it, but like she didn't know, so it's
She didn't
it's
know, but
irrelevant
like,
at this point.
yeah, I know it's irrelevant because people's attention spans have gone kaput. But but there's a lot of situations like that where just everyone involved is worse off because of it.
Yeah.
And I really think that that is like a major source of reprehension for the platform.
Yes.
Yeah, because
It's all very overcomplicated.
it's all
People
overcomplicated
just
by
go way deep down
yeah.
into these rabbit holes of discussion of, or like the very like the most insignificant detail will
Then
just
there's
suddenly become like
yeah.
the most important thing ever within a matter of seconds.
Then there's a lot of
And you
negative
just don't even know what's
reinforcement.
going on anymore while reading the thread. Yeah.
Negative reinforcement and then doom scrolling, which speaks for itself if you don't know what that means.
Yeah.
But
I just woke up that morning and I saw that tweet and I'm just like, oh boy, today is gonna be fun.
yeah, I mean, I don't feel like a bad person for thinking this, but I think drama is really fun because I'm not involved in it. It's really
if you're not involved in it, yeah.
And I feel like because it's that entertaining, people just sort of seek it out.
Yeah, they do. It's I mean, but then it kind of gets dull when it's like happening very often. Like it's kind of like an endless cycle of it, if you will, because one drama will lead to another.
Yeah.
And in terms of endless cycles, one might refer to that as limbo. And on that note, Trick just beat Limbo. Congrats.
Oh, really?
Wow, yeah, I'm so good at these segues. Yeah, he just did.
Congrats to
Fluked
Trick
it
for
from
beating
79.
Limbo, fluking it from 79%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, crazy.
I feel like there's a lot of people like Trick in that he shares a lot of similarities with a lot of other players. He uses no wave pulse, all white icons, 360 hertz, and plays the same levels.
Yeah, no,
Like,
because he's so
Firework is
popular.
the
Everyone
main
sees
thing.
him as like the prime example, the epitome of a quote unquote new gen player.
Yeah,
Especially
like new
because a lot
gen
of
player is
players like
exactly
that.
what I'm thinking of. There's a lot of people
Yeah.
like that.
'Cause a lot of them use like the same things and white icons. Oh, you got the Declaration of Independence mega hack in the corner. Like,
Yeah, that's a little ridiculous.
I think like people, they're not doing anything wrong. Obviously, it's just become a stereotype, and people hate on them for that. And it's like, okay, it's funny sometimes, but like when you're actually trying to use that in arguments, like, what are you doing?
Yeah, and I noticed that people take this is going back to Twitter. People take other people's skill at the game or skill in some aspect of the game into account when they argue with them. As if being good at GD makes your opinion more valuable in something totally unrelated to GD.
Yeah.
I have no idea why that happens.
Ego.
Ego? That's
Top
always
one
going to
ego
be the
full
answer.
layout.
Someone's got ego. Yeah. So, on a completely unrelated note, we're going to be next talking about private accounts. I don't know if Xanie's back yet, but I feel like he might know more about this because there's like a whole, I don't even know if this is true, but there's a whole network of private accounts that...
Yo, I'm back.
You're just in time.
Sorry,
funny.
I started to dip on you guys, so just suddenly.
We're talking about private accounts. Is there like a private account network on GD Twitter?
Yeah, there's definitely one. There's like, it's like a private like community.
It's probably multiple of them, right? But all the all the private accounts follow each other. So it's like
Mhm.
a GD Twitter away
It's like a
from GD
gated.
Twitter.
Yeah, it's like a gated community, really.
Is it any different than the standard GD Twitter that any rando can join?
Oh, it's noticeably either like it's like I don't know, it's just less toxic.
Well, I mean, yeah, and a lot of that time you won't even be able to like see a certain reply because you don't follow that person and they don't follow you,
Yeah.
and like it's not like a mutual thing a lot of the time. But you'll still be able to see some stuff, I guess. I don't know. I'm not. I really just use my private for like just venting and stuff. I don't usually interact with too many other private accounts besides my friends, just like talking about serious shit in life and stuff. But I think people who have like hundreds of followers on their private are like doing something wrong. Just my personal opinion. Like, it doesn't. Do you really have that many people who you're going to like vent stuff to? I mean, I'm not saying that's what private accounts should be used solely for.
I think
but
venting
like,
should go in the public account.
I don't know why you have a private at that point, because at least one of them is going to like leak it or something, say something that's like incriminating.
Yeah. How bad of an action is leaking privates?
Very bad.
Pretty
I think
bad.
it's a breach of
Depending
trust.
on the context
Well, yeah,
of the
it's a
tweet.
breach of trust more than anything. Like, you could literally just like leak someone saying like the most insignificant thing, but they're just like, dude, why did you do that? Like, come on.
It's the fact that they were let in.
Yeah. More than anything.
Yeah, that makes sense.
No matter what it was they leaked.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, the private accounts, they don't post, they don't really post like the shit posts and memes that you see on general Twitter accounts. It's more like personal, like between someone and their friends.
It's more like inside jokes.
Inside jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that
That's
makes
pretty
sense.
much what it is, yeah.
I've noticed
I know
lot
a few people who like don't use public GD Twitter at all and only have private accounts. And I respect that.
I honestly respect it too.
Yeah, that's
like-
like if that's the reason why you have like a ton of followers on your private, like, okay. Valid.
Well, just go public at that point. I don't know, but if you, well, it's a little better for security if you say stuff, not stuff about yourself, but like stuff that a college could see and decide to reject you based off of. I don't know how often that happens, but it's definitely happened before.
Probably, yeah.
It's more often for jobs.
Yeah, jobs definitely.
Oh yeah.
What if you just don't give your account to your job and just say you don't have it?
Yeah.
There's a program that they use. It's like it searches for your name if it's like anywhere like connected to an account, and then they'll look
Oh,
through
I
that.
see. Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense. So I think we're almost ready to wrap up here. It's been an hour.
Yeah.
I couldn't have asked for anything more, but as sort of like a conclusive topic, yes or no first, should GD Twitter exist?
No. That is
No.
the fastest I will say no.
No. Okay, Xanii says no.
I think that GD Twitter existing is not the problem. I think it's people not knowing what boundaries to, I guess, stay within on the site, and on that note, not respecting others.
So Solar thinks it should exist.
Yeah, I think it should, but I think it could be much better if, simply put, people had more common sense. That's my thoughts.
I think
know.
it's
It could be
it's
much
not
better.
it's not
You could say
common.
that to almost everything.
I don't think it's common sense. I think it's maturity.
That too, yeah.
I think
personally,
if it wasn't for GD Twitter, there would be another thing like GD Twitter though.
I think stuff like that, like GD Twitter, should be limited to 18 plus. Personally,
Yeah, or something where
Honestly, 16
it's
plus
not
would be
just
so
like
16 plus would make sense. Like if you can
Yeah.
drive, you can go on Twitter.
You like need a driver's license to make an account.
If you could die for your country, then you can use Twitter.
Yep.
True.
yeah.
I mean, Twitter's gonna want to make me kill myself anyway, so why not?
Yeah, just serve the nation if you're gonna throw away your life like that. No, but that's actually a very insensitive thing to say.
Yeah, no.
Sorry about that. But to wrap things up, this is just going to be me talking, by the way. You can butt in if you want, but to wrap things up, I noticed Xanii just started playing Geometry Dash. That's nice, but
Actually, he's playing YouTube.
if you're going to go on Twitter, I guess it would be healthy for you to have not necessarily a parent, but maybe a friend. Just sort of see what you do. Think of a person over your shoulder, just looking at everything you type before you type it. I think that should be the case for anything, because if you say something, you're saying it to someone.
That's true. I do that.
Not even that. I think it's like, just like, know that you're talking to actual people.
That too.
And like, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I do both, because like I know that like someone I know in real life could see my account in theory.
The whole
I
point.
wouldn't want something really bad being on there.
The whole point is that you want to keep it in your mind that someone is like another person, just like you, is witnessing what you're gonna say.
Yeah, just tweet like your mom's gonna see it,
Tweet
even
like
though she
your mom's
might not.
gonna see it, even though she probably won't.
That's like, yeah, that's what I do.
So overall, GD Twitter probably not as important as GD YouTube in the grand scheme of things. I think YouTube is the most important platform. That's for another episode of this thing, though. Anyways, thank you, Ghostfire, Xanii, and Solarion, for joining me here.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
I think this went really well. I'm gonna try to make this a thing. So if any of you guys know anyone that would want to do something like this, please put them in touch with me. I'd very much appreciate that. But anyways, that was GD Twitter. If you're still alive, congratulations, and thank you for tuning in.